You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's a big world out there, and you're just looking for a pat on the back or head. You run around the city, searching for a place to bark, working your tail off with your nose to the ground, sniffing for a few scraps, hoping someone will throw you a bone. You take each lead, collar after collar, hoping one day to take a bite out of success and become the top dog. Fortunately, you come home each day to open arms, open cans, a drink waiting for you, and a comfortable place in front of the TV set. You know you've got it good, really good, because after all, it's a doggy-dog world out there. Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with your host, pet expert, and award-winning author Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Hi, welcome to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm your host, Liz Palaika, and with me, as always, are my good friends, Petra Burke.
Hello.
Hey, we caught her by surprise. And Kate Abbott.
Howdy. I was paying attention.
How can we catch her off guard when she's the one holding the electronics?
Yeah, I know. Go figure. 3, 2, 1, go, Liz. Okay, let me just turn off my mind. Okay.
Come on.
I'm going to use that one next time.
Oh, today we're going to talk about
A serious subject.
a serious subject.
It really is.
We have a lot of fun with our podcasts, and our one on the holidays is full of giggles. Giggles and good information. There we go. That's our motto. But this is a serious subject. Let's talk about dogs biting, mouthing and biting. Unfortunately, we run into this in our classes all the time. We get a lot of calls for private training with dogs that have used their mouth too much. And it's one that hits the media far too often. And it causes a lot of problems. So we're going to talk about a serious subject. Hopefully we can help you and your dog, whether your dog uses his mouth too much or not. And if he does, perhaps guide you in some helpful directions. So hold on for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Greetings, human. What planet am I on?
Welcome to Pet Planet. Here's a copy of Pet Planet Magazine, Florida's most informative and fun pet resource magazine. It features heartwarming stories and informative articles from local and national pet experts.
Excellent.
Pet Planet Magazine offers Operation Planet Rescue, helping rescued pets find new homes. And it's available at 500 locations in South and Central Florida and 24/7 on the internet at PetPlanetMagazine.com. If you're out and about with your pet, you may be featured in Paparazzi, candid pictures of you and your pet. For up-to-date pet-friendly events, activities, and pet-related services and products, Pet Planet Magazine is your final destination.
I shall take this magazine home with me.
Back to your home planet?
No, to my condo in Boca.
Pet Planet Magazine. Check them out at www.petplanetmagazine.com or 352-394-8578. It's out of this world.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pet Life Radio proudly presents DSPN, the Dog Sports and Performance Network. Get ready to unleash the dog sports enthusiast in all of us. From speed drawing and mushing to racing, agility, and competition. This is the place to learn all about the dog sports and activities that you can do with your furry best friend and canine competitor. So get ready for game time. DSPN with your host, Lori Williams. Every week, on demand. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. This is Liz with Petra and Kate, and we're talking about dogs mouthing and biting. So let's talk first of all, what is a bite? A lot of it depends on where you live and what the laws are in your local area. Here in northern San Diego County, the court system has decreed that a dog bite is the dog using his mouth, including teeth, but mouth, on a person's skin or clothing. There's nothing in that definition that says how bad the bite is, nor is there anything in the definition that says there must be aggressiveness or vicious intent. So, if a burglar breaks into your house and your dog grabs him firmly and holds him until you call the police, that's a dog bite. If your dog is playing out in the backyard with the kids and grabs perhaps your daughter's best friend by the jeans and pinches her leg, that's also a dog bite. Now, obviously, those are two totally different things, and hopefully, should anything come of either of those situations, they're looked upon differently. But
Or one of the other ones, playing with the dog and his tooth accidentally scrapes you.
sure,
Jumping for the toy or something like that.
Yeah, and accidentally maybe grabs your hand or something unintentionally instead of the toy.
So what you need to know first of all is what are the laws in your area? And every dog owner needs to know this, whether your dog uses his mouth or not, because it's natural for dogs to do that. So you need to know what the legal definition is in your area. You can contact your local police department, contact your local animal control, or the local humane society. Any of those should be able to help you, depending on, the services in your area.
And I know one thing, if it does break skin, they do recommend you get treated.
Sure.
Mainly because they want to know if the dog's been vaccinated for rabies.
Definitely.
And then you don't want to get it infected, or if it is deeper than you think, you do want to get it stitched up or so. So,
And the truth is, every dog has the capability of biting. I don't care how sweet and mild-mannered.
Exactly.
He's hit by a car, he's injured, he's in pain.
Definitely.
Someone goes to move him out of the road.
Yes.
He may bite them out of fear and pain. It's understandable,
Sure.
and, but they can bite. So how are you going to protect yourself? How are you going to protect your dog?
Right. Now, what are some of the ramifications of a dog biting? Obviously, the legal. If your dog bites someone else and, depends on the individual situation, there could be legal ramifications. You could be cited for criminal neglect if your dog
It's running loose.
was running loose, caused a car accident, was hit by a car and bit someone, or chased the neighborhood kids and bit them. Look at all the herding dogs who would love to chase the kids on bikes or skateboards. If your dog was running loose and bit someone,
Attacks another dog while out.
and in the dog fight, the owner was bitten,
Right.
definitely legal.
oh geez, and how many do we even hear about that?
Right.
There's two squabbles at home. Dogs are fighting. The owner trying to separate them,
Yes.
trying to do the right thing, but sticks their hands in
Oh
the.
my gosh, what was the
Right
gentleman
place.
that lost his part of his finger?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yeah. Put his
That was
hand
a
in.
collie mix.
Was not a big dog at all. Yeah, put his hand in between two fighting dogs and lost part of his finger. Yeah. Then, of course, there's the moral and the ethical. I mean, if your dog bites a child in the face, how horrible are you going to feel?
Which, by the way, that's quite common, because that's where kids'
Kids'
faces are,
faces
right
are.
there, face to face with the dog.
And not all children are taught how to approach a dog or handle a dog.
Right.
They run up and grab a dog's head.
And squeeze it.
Or stick their face right in the dog's face.
Or
And
blow
get
in
into
the
a-
dog's face.
Yeah.
Get into a staring contest.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And as Kate said, every dog has the point at which he may bite. And then there's the financial ramifications. You could get your socks sewed off if your dog bites.
Even if you don't get sued, if there's a claim made against your homeowner's insurance, that's it. You're canceled, man.
Sure.
And then try to get more on that coverage with another company.
Oh,
or
yeah.
just paying the medical bills of the person.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah. So, obviously, this is an incredibly serious situation. So, let's start. Where do puppies start at the beginning? Where do puppies first learn not to bite?
Mom.
Mom dog.
Well, should. They should learn from mom.
Yeah, majority of the time.
Mm-hmm. If she's a good mom, if she's around.
If her mom taught her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, some people with mama dogs, I think, hear mama growl at their babies and they think perhaps mom's being aggressive or mom's being mean.
We had to take the puppies away and bottle raise them
and
because...
we've heard that.
Yeah, mom was going to kill them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, usually the sound is exactly what you want. You want it to sound worse than anything.
Sure.
Yeah. Puppy bites too hard on mom's toe, mom's ears, mom's nose, mom's lip.
Nipple.
Mom's nipples.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Needs to teach. She'll correct them. Part of
And
nature.
then they're litter mates when they're playing. One puppy bites his brother or his sister, puppy goes, "Aye!" And what the puppy doing the biting learns is he learns to inhibit his bites. He learns to bite carefully when he's playing. Because they do use their mouth. They don't have hands.
Right.
And so they manipulate the world with their mouths. And that's natural. We understand that. They just have to learn to inhibit it, to only use enough force.
I often tell my puppy class about stopping outside in elementary school one time and watching two boys, 8, 9 years old, standing there just punching each other in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I just put these little bubble over their head that said, "Didn't hurt, you hit me, okay, now I get to hit you." And they were basically learning punch inhibition.
Right. How hard or how not hard not to.
Very true.
And they were just practicing on each other and checking it all out and learning how hard it,
And once the other one hits too hard, the other one's going to say, "Hey, back off, that hurt."
And the game's over.
Game's over. Just
Yep.
like puppies doing a litter.
And that's
Yep.
what puppies
Game's
they
over.
need to do.
Yes.
Yep. Now, in the adult world, your dog may use an inhibited bite in several different ways. It may be a warning. If you have somebody treating your dog too roughly, he may use an inhibited bite. Not saying it's right, not saying it's correct, but that's how the dog would naturally use it.
Right.
If he's playing too rough with another dog or another dog's playing too rough with him, he might use a warning bite. If you're playing too rough, he may get overstimulated and use that inhibited bite.
There was an Animal Planet, one of the Animal Cop shows. I don't even remember. I think it was Florida. Anyway, a Rottweiler had been rescued. So, of course, I was paying a lot of attention to the Rottweiler episode. And an officer walked into the kennel, and he was looking down at the female Rottie, and hand was on her top of her head, and he thought everything was fine. And I'm looking, going, that dog's going to bite you. And sure enough, she came up at... But it was a correction bite. If she had wanted to really kill him...
Sure, she could
She
have.
had the opportunity right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And she bit him pretty hard, but it was a correction bite, not more. And that's... Fortunately, later on, they brought in a trainer who watched all that and went, yep, you can see this is... And she was giving you signs, you ignored them.
Well, good. So it turned out to be a learning opportunity
It's
for
a very
the
good
officer.
episode, yep.
Yeah. Now, there's also such thing as called an uninhibited bite.
Okay, have those too.
Uninhibited bite usually comes from a puppy who has not been taught bite inhibition. Either he was bottle raised, or his mama had not learned from her mama, or the owners interfered and didn't let mama teach him. Sometimes we see it with singleton puppies. Singleton puppies means that there was one puppy in the litter. Many times with a singleton puppy, the mama dog may not treat the puppy the same way as she would an entire litter. And the puppy definitely doesn't get the interplay with litter mates. So the puppy may not learn to inhibit his bites at all. And when he goes to a new home, then he's biting his owners. We also see that with orphan puppies. Orphan puppies that are taken away from mom for whatever reason are raised by people who don't take the puppy biting seriously.
No, they coddle.
They let
it's little teeth. It doesn't hurt.
Or my favorite, they'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
And so then the puppy grows up not understanding that he has to inhibit his bites.
And we see that because we try to teach these people who've done the raising of these orphan pups, and they just can't understand or grasp the
poor little
concept.
puppy, and he lost his mom.
He's an orphan.
He's an orphan.
Yeah.
And the kindest thing you can do to that orphan puppy is get him in with an adult dog who will gently and firmly correct him when he's being inappropriately, when he's biting too hard.
And then the other one besides those two is taking puppies away from their mothers when they're like 4 or 5 weeks old.
Yeah.
The puppies that are shipped to the pet stores from the puppy mills.
There's a prime example.
Or the
backyard
breeders who don't, Mama weaned him.
He's ready to go now.
Yeah,
We're tired of the puppies. He was fun, but now I'm tired of them.
Yeah, it's too many. They're too messy. It's too much. Yeah, we hear everything.
And most responsible breeders want to keep the puppy until they're at least 8 or 9 weeks old, if not 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Bashir at 10 weeks. I loved it. His mama and his litter mates worked with him. I never had a problem with biting.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
I think that's about the good age.
Yep.
You were from about 8 to 10. 9, 10 is actually ideal.
Yep. So, what can we do? We see puppies using their mouth way too much in the puppy classes all the time. And there's a lot of things that we tell these people. First of all, they need to be the puppy's parent.
And that doesn't always mean disciplinarian. I kind of got on this guy's case. He came to first week puppy class and said that his puppy had been snapping at him and, using his hands as a toy. The only thing I could do is just swat at him and catch him a good one upside the head. Well, then, not too long in puppy class, when I went to correct him and I put a hand down to take a hold of his collar, that puppy absolutely panicked.
And screamed bloody murder. You'd have thought you were separating his head from his body.
So he was now hand shy and absolutely positive that every hand coming toward him was going to hit him instead of pet him.
And if that continues, his owner's going to get bit.
Yeah.
And he's going to get bit badly because the puppy's going to be biting out of fear.
Well, and the owner deserves to get bit. But if anybody else reaches for the puppy.
Anybody else.
The veterinarian, the groomer, the vet tech.
What about a child? It's a puppy. It's so cute. They want to pet the puppy.
And piranha teeth.
Yep.
Piranha teeth.
When we talk about being a parent, we mean, and we like to use the phrase parent rather than pack leader or because when you're your puppy's parent, that portrays a little bit different than pack leader. People tend to think a pack leader is always firm, disciplinarian, mash the puppy to the ground. Parent means you set rules for behavior, you set guidelines, you help the puppy succeed to do things well, do things that he should do, provide him...
you teach him and protect him.
Teach him and protect him. So, being the puppy's parent is very, very important. And I like people to think with that mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we need to take a break for our sponsors. We'll be right back. Hold on.
Sit. Stay. It's a dog-eat-dog world. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Spills, pet messes, and dirt are unavoidable, but the stains and odors they cause are not. Spot Shot Instinct Carpet Stain and Odor Eliminators, non-toxic, environmentally friendly, and biodegradable formula safely and permanently eliminates the toughest carpet spills and stains, even pet messes. Approved by the Carpet and Rug Institute, Spot Shot neutralizes odors with powerful dual odor eliminators and utilizes an anti-resoiling agent to protect carpets from future stains. Spot Shot products can be found at Walmart, Petco, Lowe's, and your local grocery retailer. For more information, visit spotshot.com. Get $5 off the admission for the hit movie Marley and Me. Just go to PetLifeRadio.com and click on the Marley and Me banner for details.
Got questions about your hound's health? Need the facts on Fido's fitness or food? You want to unleash your pup's potential? Well, you've come to the right place with Win with Dogs. Here, we learn how easy it is to naturally improve the lives of our furry friends. So sit, stay, and get ready to win with dogs. With me, Raquel Wynn. Exercise, nutrition, interaction, and love make for one healthy, happy hound. Give yourself the gift of knowledge on demand every week right here at Pet Life Radio with me, Raquel Wynn, and Win with Dogs.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm your host, Liz Palika, and with me today are Petra Burke and Kate Abbott. And we're taking a little bit of a detour from our usually fun podcast, and we're talking about a little more serious one today. We're talking about dogs who use their mouth, whether they are mouthing too much or biting. In the first half of the show, we talked about inhibited bites and where that comes from and how the puppies are taught, and uninhibited bites, which are for real and meant to hurt you, and why that can happen. And of course, we're just briefly touching on these subjects, folks. There are entire books talking about dog bites, dog aggression. This is just skimming the surface of it in a half-hour podcast. But let's continue with what we started just before our break, and that's what the advice that we give to people in our puppy classes and our basic obedience classes. First is to be your dog's parent. Next is to set the dog up to succeed.
That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. If you play Slap Face, that game where you take your hand and slap your dog around the muzzle and the head.
Cute.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, somebody does that to me and I'm going to bite him too.
Yeah,
Liz
righteously so.
And I don't care how big my canines are, I'll bite them.
Uninhibitedly.
But how about playing games with toys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Teach them what the toys are, Here's a toy, a rawhide, squeaky, whatever. That's what you're supposed to chew and bite on. And again, if you have other dogs in your household, they can try to chew and bite on other dogs, but if your dog's correct properly, your puppy's learning.
I see that every single day between
Riker,
Bashir, and Archer. All right, Archer's our puppy. He's a year old now, but he joined our household late as far as we were concerned. He didn't join our household till he was 5 months. So he had several months of bad habits, and he had been shunted to a couple different homes, so he didn't have any consistency. He joined our house using his mouth a little too much, not roughly, not uninhibited. He just used it more than my husband and I allow, and much more than Bashir and Riker would allow. Mm-hmm. So even now, when he gets really excited, I can see him bounce over and he'll grab Bashir by the lip or Riker by the toe. And all of a sudden I hear a whoomp, and there goes Archer over on his back, 4 feet in the air. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean it.
Mm-hmm. He spends a lot of time on his back.
And he's quite good at throwing himself on his back.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's learned that technique.
Yes.
But we've even used some of our adult dogs to teach some of the puppies that don't have an adult in their family about the biting.
Definitely. After we warn the owners that our dogs are not going to kill the
sound
puppies.
worse and they actually won't do anything. They'll sound awful. But they can do a lot better job than we can at times. Mm-hmm. That's the whole idea.
It came from the mouth of babes, if you will. Someone had been through puppy class and basic class with a dog about 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now a fine, mature, well-behaved dog. Mm-hmm. She's got a new puppy. Uh-huh. And she came to puppy class the other day and she said, it's so much easier and more nicer to raise a puppy with an adult mature dog helping.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That must have been Switter's mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great.
It makes all the
Makes it
difference.
much easier. Oh, we'd have had a much harder time with Archer if Bashir and Riker weren't helping. Yeah, definitely.
But then we also have fearful dogs. You and I had fun. Well, the three of us had fun with that little Shiba Inu.
Ay.
Now, this is
Aye.
where we run into contradictions with the veterinarians. And to all you veterinarian listeners, I'm sorry. But when the veterinarians tell the puppy owners, don't take the puppy out of the house or backyard until he's had all his shots, and he doesn't get his last rabies or his rabies shot until he's 6 months old, that means the puppy's been isolated, he's had no socialization, and
Physically, he's in great shape.
Oh, yeah.
Emotionally and mentally,
he's a basket case. And this poor Shiba Inu, the owners followed the veterinarian's instructions to the letter. He had been kept in the house and backyard, no puppy training, no going for walks, no meeting other dogs, no meeting any people except those that came to the house, and it seemed like they did not have many guests to the house.
No.
And the dog is afraid literally of his own shadow. And so when we tried to change a collar, just to put even a martingale collar on him, he would totally freak. He thought everything was a danger.
Oh my God, they're killing me, they're killing me, they're killing me.
And those were not warning bites.
No,
No,
those were uninhibited bites.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his mom, his owner, is in tears because she thought she was doing the right thing, and she loves her puppy. And we're saying, okay, yes, physically, but that's only half the story. That's why we start puppy class earlier. So it's very
It
hard.
doesn't do a dog a lot of good to be healthy
if he's
if
mentally
he ends up
unstable.
being put down.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he's
'Cause
packed. He's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
safe to be in public.
Yeah.
So our recommendation is, yes, your veterinarian is very concerned with your puppy's physical health. However, there's a balance. You can keep him away from unvaccinated dogs. You can keep him away from strange dogs. Don't let him sniff pee and poop out in public. You can keep him safe, but do introduce him to other vaccinated puppies. Do introduce him to neighbors, well-vaccinated, healthy dogs. Do let him meet the neighbors and the neighbors' kids and neighbors' grandma. And do the socialization, because his mental health is just as important as his physical health. So, end of that lecture.
Well, you know, I mean, that puppy was extreme because it was both dogs and humans.
Sure.
But then we have that Jack Russell had Giardia and was confined to the house for 2 months and is fine because, I mean, we could piss
He's
the
fine
dog.
with people.
Was fine, but wants to take every dog out
Yes. Yes.
because she didn't allow the dog around other dogs.
Yeah.
Kept him in the house.
Yep.
So obviously they had a lot of people at their house. He's fine with people, just not with other dogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Socialization is important, folks.
scary.
All right, now how about the games that we play with the dog? Yes, we teach him that toys in his mouth are a good thing, and a toy in the mouth can help prevent him from using his mouth inappropriately. We said we don't want to play slappy face with the dog, but how about other games? I mean, we don't want to let the kids wrestle with him.
Or dad.
Dad?
Wait. That's what
Sorry
we see
to
that
pick on the guys,
I
but,
know.
you
Sorry,
know.
dads out there. So when we see the ladies go nudge, nudge. I told you so.
Can always tell in class who's been doing it.
Yeah.
Wrestling teaches the puppy to fight you. Not
Just like tug of war does.
Not quite the lesson we want to convey to the puppy. The phrase that I like to use is we want to teach the puppy to be compliant rather than defiant. We want him to want to work with you rather than to want to fight you.
Exactly. And we always suggest other games. Like
hide and seek.
Hide and seek is a great one with puppies. Teach the puppies names of the family in the house. Names
And
of
the
the toys.
Fetch.
Yeah. Get a ball or
Trick training.
frisbee.
Oh my gosh, trick training is so much fun. Teach that puppy how to shake hands and beg and roll over and play dead and stand up and dance, and trick training's wonderful.
And much more positive for children to do with the dog than to
Yes.
wrestle on the floor with them, because that turns them into puppies.
Yes.
And puppies use their teeth on each
Each
other.
other, definitely. And we want the child to be elevated in status above the puppy rather than an equal as a puppy, as a litter mate.
Or
that-
you just mentioned
What?
you just mentioned using teeth on each other. Even if you're an adult,
Don't bite your dog.
That woman is a classic.
Well, we've had a couple.
It was a few, some guys.
We had
Really?
we had a guy not too long ago, and
grabs his dog by the scruff with his mouth to correct him because I am the pack leader. And
that
I'm
wasn't
just
that long ago. That was
going,
just a couple months ago.
Okay, yo, righty.
You noticed I did swallow my words, and I did not call him stupid in class.
Yes, you did. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Yes,
Good job.
although I wanted to.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah. All right, so the dangers here, in case you have a question as to why you shouldn't bite your dog. First of all, your dog is a predator. He has big canines.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't
You
have
have
big
the
canines.
teeth of an omnivore or an herbivore. Plus, if you bite your dog and he decides to bite you back, there's your face
Yeah.
right there.
Right there.
So, most of the time, if you try to use your mouth, your dog's probably just going to laugh at you. Unfortunately, one of these times he's going to get mad and he's going to turn around and he's going to bite you in the face. Wrong. Bad lesson. Doesn't teach your dog a thing. You are not mama dog. Your dog has no idea that you're mama dog. You're being a human parent to a canine. You're not the alpha wolf pack leader. You're a parent.
You're not going to live in a wolf society. You are bringing a dog to live in human society. They
Yes.
need to
Yes.
learn human rules.
Yes, exactly. And I know for many, many years, many dog trainers and dog writers used the wolf pack analogy as a comparison because they're both social groups. But most of us have moved away from that because we saw too many people who tried to bite their dogs or tried to roll their dogs
Get a little
over.
further than they should.
They took it too far.
yeah.
And as people have a tendency to do. So the social group comparison is apt. It is a good comparison. However, you'll never be an alpha wolf.
Well, and we're learning a whole lot more about wolf social structure as well.
And they're not as mean and aggressive as has
that's
been portrayed.
There's a lot more negotiation and compromise that
Yes.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, after all, if the alpha wolf injured or hurt the subordinates, he wouldn't have anybody to help him hunt.
Right.
Right.
And they hunt in a group. So let's think of that parent thing rather than alpha wolf thing. Don't bite your dog.
And, you know, it's so hard to get the hair out of the
The
teeth.
teeth, I know. Patooey.
Yeah, yeah. It's just,
So when we're teaching a puppy not to use his mouth, several things. One, train your puppy. And be firm, set rules, but also praise your puppy. Make the training fun. Teach your puppy to be compliant. Also, when you're having fun with the training, you're going to be more apt to want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And get everybody in the household to do the same.
Consistency.
Yeah, same commands. Write them on the refrigerator. Post them on the refrigerator.
Yep.
Everybody do the same thing.
Consistency.
Yeah, because we've heard that too. Well, he does down, and he says drop, and he says the
Yeah.
consistency.
and get the kids involved with adult supervision
Yes.
so that the puppy understands they're to obey children as well.
And so the children learn the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't grab
Now,
puppy by the ear and try to drag him around.
I have one more subject to talk about with biting dogs, and this was from one of those TV trainers. Never challenge a dog who is dominant or aggressive in any manner. Never challenge him face to face. Never try to
Stare him down.
stare him down, overpower him. You're going to lose.
Yeah, you will.
You're going to lose. And this trainer
You're gonna
on
lose your
TV
face.
did too. The trainer on TV got bit. Unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't use it as a lesson. Oops, I said he, didn't he? Oops.
Okay, keep going. There's a few P's. We won't mention anymore.
Any relation to persons alive or dead is purely fictional. Okay.
I was very distressed by that segment because it could have been turned into a learning opportunity for not just the trainer who got bit and the owners of the dog that did the biting, but for everybody who was viewing. If you have a very dominant dog, a very pushy dog, or a dog who is aggressive, whether it be dominance aggressive, fearful aggressive, territorial aggressive,
Resource aggressive,
do not try to overpower him. Yeah, don't try to overpower him. We're supposed to be smarter than they are. If you try to overpower this dog, you're going to lose. You're going to get bit, or someone else is going to get bit, and the potential of the dog having to be destroyed is greatly increased. If you need help, call a trainer, call a behaviorist, get some help, but don't try to overpower him. This is not the situation where you want to grab the dog, throw him on the ground, stick your fingers in his side, as this trainer did when he got bit. This is not the time to sit on him. If he's a resource guarder, try to take the toy out of his mouth. Let's use our brains and be smarter.
You may even win once or twice. But what you've taught the dog is it's now a competition all the way to battle war.
Yes.
And every time you go into battle, there's a chance you might win this time.
Yep.
And that's what the puppy dog's thinking.
Yeah, and he's going to think even harder about it.
Yep.
I just need to learn to fight better.
Yes.
Bite harder, bite faster.
Yes.
Or maybe this time I'll win.
Or catch Dad when he's not looking. Bite him in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snarky biters.
I mean, we can use Gina as an example. She's potentially fearful aggressive.
Yes.
Gina would never go out of her way to go out and bite someone, but she should never be cornered.
Right.
And even now, you've had her, 3 or 4 years now? Mm-hmm. I know that's a time question.
Right.
3 or 4 years. And when new people reach down towards her, she still gets a little iffy.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than fighting Gina, it's a matter of managing Gina and making sure that she's always set up to succeed. She's never put into a position where she feels she needs to use her mouth.
Right.
And
you know what? There's many times I know I've stepped in and kind of diffused the situation. You see, watch her, you see the new person, and I'll just walk past and kind of say, okay, right between Gina and the new person, because Gina knows me, Gina knows Liz.
Yep.
And just get this new person distracted, go someplace else. Let's diffuse the whole thing, let everybody go back to their corners.
And then Gina's usually going,
yeah, really, she's going to take a deep breath. Yeah, poor Gina.
It was just the other day that somebody was throwing the ball for the other dogs.
Uh-huh.
So he kept moving closer and closer to Gina, who was looking more and more worried. And his hand was going down and coming up and throwing, and going down and coming up and throwing. She was getting more and more worried. So it's like, hey, Gina, come on over here.
Yep.
Let's just get you. And the guy had no idea.
Exactly.
That he was moving in on her in such a manner that was causing her alarm.
And Gina's an excellent example of that also because she uses her body language so well. Mm-hmm. If she were ever to bite someone, it would never be without warning.
Oh, yeah.
Because she gives lots of body language. Mm-hmm. So it would be someone who's oblivious.
Right, as this person was.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much when a lot of people get bit.
My job as a parent to keep her safe.
Right?
And keep others around her safe.
Yeah, exactly. And Gina, by the way, for those of you who haven't listened to some of our past podcasts, Gina was rescued. Kate rescued her from a shelter. She had been allowed to be bred, or she was purposely bred in her first season. She was severely mistreated, complete with cigarette burn scars. And
about half her body weight when I got her after she'd been in foster for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, she was a good mama. She gave everything to her puppies. And had obviously been hit from above, whether with a hand, a broomstick, or whatever, because that is still her trigger. She doesn't like things coming down from above her.
They weren't sure that they were going to be able to adopt her out.
Yeah.
And when I went over there and she crawled into my lap and ate out of my hand, they couldn't get out the adoption papers fast enough.
There went Kate, sucker.
Yeah.
But even now, she trusts all of us. But the other day when she ignored something that was said and I went to go get her, even then, I walked up in front of her, took her collar by the side,
Yes.
rather than above her head, and she was not happy that I was doing that, but I was not putting her in a situation where she had to react. And she allowed me to drag her away. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to walk away from her mom, and I took her away.
And her head was down and her eyes were down. Now, if she had been backing away with her head up, staring at you,
then that would have been a different situation.
Yeah, and you would have read that too.
Oh yeah, sure, yep. So anyway, to sum it up, mouthing and biting obviously is a huge problem with many, many ramifications. It's very important that puppies and young dogs learn that they're not allowed to use their mouth on people. If you have any questions about it, get your puppy into a baby puppy class. If you've got an older puppy or an adult dog, talk to a dog trainer, talk to a behaviorist, and get some help.
And you know what? If it doesn't work with that one,
find
another one.
Sure.
Someone called me the other day and I said, "Have you been through training?" "Well, yeah, but we got kicked out of class."
Well, that doesn't handle the problem.
Right. I said, "Well, okay, come to our class." And we will give you some different techniques. So there are as many different training methods as there are stars in the sky.
Yeah, put 100 dog trainers in a room, and the only thing they'll agree on is everybody else is wrong.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that it bothers all of us is the training they show on TV with the TV trainers. You don't see
the whole
picture.
Process.
You can't see
Show
from very
businesses. No. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you see it from the beginning, and all of a sudden you're at the end. Well, what happened in the middle?
Yeah.
How did you get your dog to that point? It's not magic. There's no magic wand.
Everything on TV happens in a 15 or 30-minute segment. And keep in mind that those are only a few training techniques. Like Kate said, there's lots of different training techniques.
Yes. Even if you just look at the different shows that are out there, I mean, they all have different little slants.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
And even if I don't agree with that trainer, find one that makes sense to you and be consistent and work with your dog.
Mm-hmm. And
if they don't kick you out of class.
And keep that phrase, makes sense.
Yeah.
I've watched some of those TV dog trainers too, and some of those techniques just absolutely don't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah. So I'm usually yelling at the TV. Kayla and I are sitting there, what? No!
So, there we go. We don't have a TV show, but by gum, we got a podcast.
Someday, maybe.
So, that's it for us. It's a doggy dog world. I'm Liz.
This is Petra.
And bye-bye from Kate.
Our next podcast, the AKC has a new program out. They've got a CGC program for puppies.
Uh-huh.
It's called Star Puppy. And our next podcast, we're going to have all the information on that. We're going to be talking about it to you, explaining it. And I think after the first of the year, we're going to be starting it with our puppy classes because I think it sounds like a great idea.
Cool. I do too.
All right. That's it.
See you next year.
Bye-bye.
Having a rough day? Longing for the dog days of summer? Think your fun furry friend lives a dog's life? Well, find out everything you're begging to know as Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with pet expert and award-winning author Liz Palaika. Every dog has his day, and you'll find out how to make your dog's day fun and rewarding. Every week, on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.